Okay, I think Thor, the new Spider-Man, Tom Holland, and the Scarecrow from the Dark Knight trilogy, Cillian Murphy, have met their match. It's a giant white whale. In the Heart of the Sea, directed by Ron Howard, the man who directed Rush, which starred Chris Hemsworth, and he brings back Chris Hemsworth for this movie. This is the inspiration behind Moby-Dick. And somehow I think I like the fiction in Moby-Dick better than the story that inspires it, which is supposed to be this movie. This movie has Ben Whishaw, Q from the James Bond films, playing Herman Melville, and he goes to Brendan Gleeson's character, Thomas Nicholson, who is the last survivor of the boat, the Essex. And he wants to get Thomas Nicholson's story to use as an inspiration for his book, Moby-Dick. And Thomas Nicholson tells his story that he was a cabin boy on this boat, played by Tom Holland, and unfortunately it's not a good enough story to make an excellent movie. Chris Hemsworth plays Owen Chase in this film. He's the first mate on this boat, and he wishes to be captain, but he doesn't have the class status to be captain. Instead, that position goes to Benjamin Walker's character, George Pollard. So they are at odds in this movie. It's man versus man and man versus beast. They're on this voyage to get oil from the whales, and they're meeting up with this big white whale that is taking down the boats, and they find a way to go up against this white whale. And unfortunately, it's not a very good movie. Chris Hemsworth is a terrific actor, very charismatic. I really like him as Thor and in the two Avenger films as well as the two Thor movies. But here, even though he was great in Rush, he's really not that good in this movie. I mean, he does the best he can, but the movie's very, very boring, and the drama between him and Benjamin Walker's character over who should be the captain of the boat is not enough to drive this movie, as well as their fight against the whale. The whale's not even in the movie enough. Now, this movie brings in other actors like Cillian Murphy, the man who played the Scarecrow in the Dark Knight trilogy, and got Tom Holland, the new Spider-Man, as well as a couple of lady actresses, Michelle Fairley, who plays Thomas Nicholson's wife in the movie, and Charlotte Riley, who plays Chris Hemsworth's wife in the movie. And it's really just not enough, and these two women are not in the movie that much anyway. And this movie's just not interesting enough, and that's very disappointing. I mean, I really wanted to see an excellent movie about man versus beast. And unfortunately, we don't get that in this movie. And I'm very disappointed because I love the story of Moby-Dick. I read this book in college, and the best showing of a live-action Moby-Dick I've seen so far is with Patrick Stewart playing Captain Ahab, I believe. I was hoping this movie was just going to be just as good, and unfortunately it's not. And it's pretty much just a rental. I don't think it's a bad movie. I just think it's pretty forgettable. I'm going to give this movie a C+. So if you just want to see it, I say wait for it to come out on Redbox or Netflix. Besides, Star Wars is coming out next week. I'd rather be going to see that rather than going to see a movie, going to see a disappointing movie of Thor versus a white whale.